Hey friends, I am in Estes Park, but the title Esther's Park is for a reason. I'll explain in a minute. I'm surprised I actually have service all the way up here, and this might get cut short because there are people on the trail. But I'm on a trail in Estes Park and it is so gorgeous. Want to show you all. I wish you could see all the views. Mountains behind. So I'm on a trail called Twin Sisters. And to the prophetic, all things are prophetic. As Matt from Bound for Life says, Matt Lockett and Lou Engle. So just want to share a little bit of some prophetic history. Again, this might get cut short if people start coming on the trail. And I'm in the shadows here. But yeah, today I took a day to come out to Estes Park to seek the Lord and just pray into what is God doing with women in this hour as we look towards October 12th on the mall, gathering 1 million women. And I'm going to walk a little bit with you guys. And I spent the day, I felt all week, I'm just going to set apart this day to seek the Lord because Papa Lou Engle has commissioned his spiritual daughters to go out and share this message and mobilize for 1 million women. And I'm personally in a season of starting a full-time nanny job on top of my nonprofit, The Wall. And just wanted to take this day to see God, what is your message to women? And I want to extend the invitation to you in your region. If you'd like to have myself or anyone come share this message of gathering women to the mall in DC, I'd love to come and share on my weekends. And there's several of us women ready to come and get excited with you guys and pray into this. But just wanted to share a little bit of my journey of stepping into this and why I believe so strongly in what God's doing in DC and with women in this hour. So it all started for me in 2008. I was living in Michigan. I went to Michigan State University. I was a junior, I believe, in college, and I had my first ever prophetic dream. And in the dream, I was in Washington, D.C., and I saw the layout of D.C. I've never been to D.C. in my life, didn't know anything about it, and I was praying, and I saw the Washington Monument. I saw the pool of water down below. Again, I knew nothing about DC. And in the dream, I'm standing there with Jesus and looking out, and then fast forward in the dream, I'm in a farm, on a farm with land, and I see these horses and families, and I said to Jesus while we're walking this path, I said, look, we were all made for family. And no matter what, like even in the animal kingdom, how wild is that? And I knew God had something for me in DC. Come to find out, like a week or two later, Lou Engle was doing a call in 2008 in DC. And my friends at the time invited me to come to DC, and I went. And while I was there, I had never fasted or prayed for an entire day like that. And I ended up on the ground in travail. I had never experienced weeping like that in my life. And I'm crying and feeling God's heart for the unborn, and for women who've had abortions. I'm crying for 30 minutes and I hear the audible voice of God. And I heard God say to me, Danielle, you will be part of the ending of abortion and the raising up of an adoption movement in America. And so I went on this journey for the last 15 years of God, what does that look like for abortion to end and for there to be a solution? And it looks like a culture of adoption, which, as you know, led to me starting the Wall movement years later. And got to run with Lou Engle and his company of people for about 3 years, from 2017 to 2020. And from that place, that's when, wow, you guys have to see the snow falling. I wish, I'll just have to turn it. The snow is falling. It's so pretty. I ended up starting the Wall movement in 2019, end of 2019, because we were having a prayer meeting for America. And I heard God speak to me, and he said 3,200 churches. And I said, God, why are you talking to me about the churches? I have no heart for the church. I did have a heart, but I was specifically focused on college campuses at the time. And God commissioned me to start the Wall movement, calling for a culture of adoption and prayer. I thought it was just calling for churches, but it's turned into realizing there are 3,200 counties in America, and we're calling for all of the churches, all of the counties of America to work together to build this culture of life. Fast forward, in 2020, during elections, the Lord led me to start a fast. My plan was to start this fast, and I was planning to start it on the day of elections, not knowing that they would get dragged out for so long. I was going to do 47 days of fasting, praying for the overturn of Roe v. Wade for the 47 years at that point of Roe v. Wade. And not knowing, Lou Engle calls a 3-day Esther fast before that. So it turned into a 50-day fast. And I said, God, why are you calling for a 50-day fast? And come to find out, the Jubilee is every 50 years. And God was saying, I want to see a Jubilee. Like, we were all getting filled with faith that God wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade. I did this fast, and then I get a dream. At the end of the dream, during the fast, Lou calls for another fast. He didn't know I was doing mine. He calls for another fast in the middle of mine, and they both end the same night. That night, in the sky appears the Star of Bethlehem, which star, the name Esther means star. And what I was asking God during this fast was, how do you plan to overturn Roe v. Wade? And what is your solution, and what's next? What are you saying? If you are calling me to go speak to churches, like, God, what is your message? And he gave me this dream right after the fast ends. So the fast ends on December 21st. And the star appears, and the name Esther means star. And I felt like God was saying, my solution to this modern day massacre is an Esther movement. And here I am at Estes Mountain, which people actually call Esther's Mountain. And Lou Engle had a dream when he was here that about the 1 million women. And he saw the spirit of Haman. It had to do with Lord of the Rings in the dream, in the Nazgul, and how the women let their hair loose and say, I am no man, and that it's going to take a women's movement to overcome the spirit of death. And in the time of the Bethlehem Star, the children were being massacred at that time, and I believe we are in a modern day massacre. They were killing, Herod was killing the babies 2 and under, and I think we're in, a season like that where we're seeing a modern day massacre of abortion. Praise God, Roe v. Wade has been overturned, but it's now state by state and even county by county. And I just want to invite you to consider coming October 12th to the mall, but let's get this message out together. Again, I want to encourage you to invite myself or other Esther women. We want to come share at your churches and help spread this word. But the dream that I had is written in my book, and I want to encourage you to get my book called There Is Room in Your Womb. It's available on Amazon, and it's a 12-week or 12-month guide to pray for the ending of abortion, for an adoption movement. It has the prophecies of 1 million women gathering to the mall, and it has my dream in it. I don't know if I'll get into the whole dream right now, but long story short, I believe that this dream that God gave me was about this women's movement, and it was for such a time as this. It talks about Trump running for presidency. I know that this video is probably not going to go very far because I just said that. But I think it's for such a time as this, and I believe Trump could be coming back. And in the dream, I'll make it very brief and then I'm going to end this, but in the dream, I saw women being murdered, and Satan was killing them through guns, stabbing, and a smoke of cloudiness, and it reminded me of COVID, but also just like sleepiness. And these are the attacks of the enemy on women. Abortion, literal, wounds of things being said. Those are those stabbing wounds too, but physical pain, barren women. So I saw 100 women being killed right before me. And in the dream, I knew that I had to get to the third level to get the breakthrough. And I believe that represents we have to pray from that place of the third heavens. I went up to the second level and I see a black woman and a white woman breathing life into each other to keep each other alive. And I believe that is what God's doing, is bringing black and white together in this hour, bringing women together. It's so easy to give into competition and jealousy, and not fight together as women. But this is the hour for us to come together as women to pray for resurrection life over one another, over our wombs, over our physical and spiritual wombs. And in the dream, I went up to the second level and Satan stabbed me. But I was trying to pray and prophesy life over the women. I knew I had the authority, but I had to get to the third level. So do not stop in the second heavens. Do not stop short of getting up to that place. The blood speaks a better word, and that's where we pray and prophesy from. So I want to encourage you, get my book, There's Room in Your Womb, and gather women in your region and go through it so we can be consecrated, pure vessels when we get to the mall on October 12th. We're going to be going through it here in our region with a group of women. Again, I've gone through this book several times with groups of women, and I've seen women's destinies unlocked and them stepping into what they were called to. And I believe this is the hour. It walks us through inner healing. It has intercession target points and small group discussion points. And so I believe that this is the hour. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the view.